Peace be upon you all and welcome to the channel. In this video we will cover a list of different nouns, different adjectives, the days, the numbers, and prepositions, as well as conjugates in Arabic. We will, of course will not be able to cover all the nouns or all the adjectives. The adverbs are considered a higher level than a beginner level, so I may not be covering that in this tutorial. And we will not cover a lot of nouns or adjectives simply to avoid overwhelming the viewer, but feel free to gather vocabulary through reading. Hopefully by the end of this tutorial I think we have one more video, which is the structure of a sentence, and at the end of that video we will cover a reading exercise, a listening exercise, a speaking exercise, and a reading exercise. So hopefully by the end of this tutorial you will be able to formulate sentences using the pronouns, whether nominative, accusative, or dative, different verbs, and different adjectives and prepositions. Firstly, let us cover the question words. Why, when, where, how. Actually, I think I will write each list in one panel so that it is clear for everyone. Okay. Now, firstly, let us start with who. And that is the word men. So if I want to say who is that man, I would say man ar-rajul, without the is, because if you recall, Arabic does not have the verb to be. There is however, was, but we will cover that later during the lecture. We will cover it shortly. So who is men? When is meta. Now if you hear the word meta, it is an alif med or an alif vowel. However, this is the pseudo alif, which is called alif al-maqsur, that is shaped as a ya but is pronounced as an alif. And as we mentioned in I believe in the first lecture or the second, it does not have the two dots for the ya. What if you are asking when as a part of a declaration or a part of an informative sentence? When this happens, as an example, this has a different word in Arabic. So I will not add the question mark to indicate the differences. This is known as hina. Hina. And as you can see, this is a ya vowel, so I will not add the sukun. That way you can acclimatize to the absence of a diacritic on vowels. And normally, if you are reading a book and a letter does not have a diacritic, whether it is a vowel or a consonant, it automatically means sukun. So this is used when is used in a statement instead of an inquisition. How? That is كيف. Actually, this I will raise the dot a bit. كيف. كيف. What else do we have? Where? That is أين. أين. What if where is used as a statement rather than an inquisition or a query? For example, where can I find this? And the answer would be where the two tables collide, as an example. That also has a different word in Arabic. So where as a statement instead of a query, that would be عند. عند, which also means at, the preposition at, but we will cover the prepositions after the questions in the second panel. Let's see, what else do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing what. What? Also why, yeah, but we will come to why in a bit. What could either be ما or it could be actually we'll leave it as ما. And it could also be used with هذا depending on how you ask the question, which we will cover in sentence structures in the next lecture, God willing. So ما means what. What is this? What is that? This is all ما. Lastly, we have why. Why is either لما, لما, or it is لماذا, لماذا, two vowels here, لماذا. So these are all the question words. Once we take the sentence structure in the last lecture, or the ultimate lecture, because this is the penultimate one, we will write the sentence in English and then write the translation in Arabic beneath it to help with the connection. So these are the questions. Then delete. Then let us cover prepositions. Which are extremely popular in Arabic. I would say they are popular in any language, actually. Before we begin, words in Arabic that have 2 letters or 3 letters that are not either a verb or a noun or an adjective normally are referred to as letters. حروف. They are called حروف, not كلمات. كلمات is the plural of nouns, of the noun كلمة, which means word. I will not be covering singular and plural forms for the nouns list fully because there are different plural forms or the exceptions for plurals, so I will not be covering a lot of nouns or a lot of singular and plural forms in this lecture. That could be in an intermediate level if I am destined to make one. So any declarative statement that starts with a word composed of 2 letters or 3 letters or prepositions or question words, anything that is not a noun, a verb, or an adjective is normally in Arabic referred to as a letter, not a word, because of its small size. That is a grammatical nomenclature. but it is technically a word. So let us take the word above. Above. I should mention also the name of prepositions in Arabic is ظرف. That is a very ugly law. ظرف is the singular. ظروف is the plural. Or was it أظرف? I do not really remember. But that is the singular. ظرف. And we have two forms, either ظرف زمان, temporal preposition, or ظرف مكان, spatial preposition. Above means فوق. 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 Then we will go below or beneath. And for beneath, we are speaking about the preposition beneath, beneath the table, beneath the couch, as opposed to the belittlement beneath. When you say you are beneath me, that has a different word in Arabic. That would be تحت. تحت. Then let us take on. An object is on the table. That is على. Again, you will notice على, it sounds as an alif, however, it is written as a ya. This is the pseudo alif or alif maqsura. على. Let us see, what else do we have here? So the differences between above and on, if I have a table here, for example, and I have a vase or a vase held slightly above the table surface or the tabletop, so there is a space here. This is above. However, if it is sitting on the tabletop, this is on. Let us take here and there. Here is هنا. هنا. There, you will add an extra letter at the end. هناك. هناك or هناك. So if you add a fatha or you add a sukun, they are both correct, because if you are going to stop at the end of the word without continuing the sentence, if you have to take a breath, for example, or if you wish to stop for emphasis, you will pronounce the letter with a sukun, as this is called movement or haraka. So the end of the word is emphasized as a haraka if you will continue reading. However, if you will stop, if you will stand still, that is the stillness diacritic or the sukun diacritic. I believe these are the main prepositions. I could be missing a few. If you feel that I forgot one, please let me know in the comments below, and I can make either a document or a separate video and write the other ones. Unfortunately, this is not scripted, so I apologize for the shortcomings. Now let us cover the days so that I do not forget. We will cover from the first day of the week, which is Sunday, till the end of the week, which is Saturday. In Arabic, the days are named after their rank or their ordinal position in the week, up until day 5, sorry. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Day 6 and 7 have special names, as we mentioned in the previous lecture. So Sunday is the day Ahad, and the word Ahad means one. Ahad, which is also what God refers to himself in the antepenultimate chapter in the Quran, which we said was called Al-Ikhlas, in English, sincerity or clarity, depending on one's interpretation. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Say that Allah, that is the tetragrammaton for God, or the name of God in Arabic or in Islam. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ means one. Monday, since that is the second day of the week, it will be called two in Arabic. And if you recall, we said that the day Ithnain starts with a connecting hamza. Ithnain. Ithnain. Two. This is not actually the word for the number two. It is a derivative of the word of the number two, because we will cover numbers shortly. Tuesday is the third day in the week, so that is known as, and of course you can add alif lam or the to it to say the Sunday, al-ahad, the Monday, al-ithnain, and so on and so forth. This is known as thula. Oh, that is a very ugly lamb. Thulatha. Now this could also be a listening exercise. Thulatha. That guttural sound automatically means a cutting hamza. And since it is at the end of the word, how would I write it? If you recall the rule, look at the letter before it. If it has a sukoon, it automatically means you write it on the line. Like so. Thulatha, or you would say ath-thulatha if you are adding the. Wednesday, I do not really know why these days are named after Nordic figures. Odin's Day, Tyr's Day. The same as the planets, they are named after Roman gods for some reason. Except Earth, thankfully. The fourth day is Ar, and it does start with a cutting hamza. Ar, B, A. Ar, B, A. The same as Thulatha. Hamza on the line, because it is preceded by a letter that has a sukoon. Whether it is a vowel or otherwise is irrelevant. Thursday or Thursday. I do not even know why that man has a day. Is the fifth day of the week. So it would be, let me draw this better. And this is known as Khamis. When you see the names for the letters, the numbers, sorry, you will understand how these names are derived from the numbers names. Khamis or Al-Khamis, the Thursday. Friday has a different name than 6. That is called Jum'ah. Jum'ah. So how would I know if this was this is a ayn, by the way. If this is a ta marbuta or a tied ta or a ha. If you recall from the I believe the third lecture or second lecture, if you place a haraka diacritic, a movement diacritic, fatha, dhamma or kasra, and you pronounce it as ta, then it is a tied ta. A tied ta is pronounced as a ta if it has a haraka, and pronounced as a ha if it has a sukun. This will come with practice, of course, how you are able to identify. However, when during the next lecture, God willing, inshallah, when we cover listening exercises or dictation, when I recite or mention a word that has a tied ta in it, I will mention it twice, one with a sukun at the end and one with a haraka at the end. And you would be able to determine if it is a full ha, because if it is a ha, it will be pronounced as a ha either with a sukun or with a haraka. However, if I pronounce it differently with a haraka, then automatically it means a tied ta. The reason it is called Jum'ah, as we said in the previous lecture, is because Jum'ah is derived from Jam'a, which means gathering. That is when all creation gathered to worship God. This is why we have our sermon on Friday, or the Friday prayer. We gather to worship God. Then lastly, Saturday, or the 7th day. This day also has a different name compared to the number 7, and that is Sept or as-Sept. Sept, from the word subut, which means stillness. Subut, which means stillness, and that is when the laws of the universe stood still, or not stood still, settled. They settled into position, so they set, or you could say they settled in stillness, and yeah, that is why this day is called Sept, Subut. That is when creation was finalized. But again, the universe was not created in 6 days. The word day is used metaphorically, because in Arabic the word day or yawm does not necessarily mean a period of 24 hours. It simply means a period of time. So that is the list of days. Then we have numbers. So the the number 0, and these are Arabic numerals, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all Arabic numerals. They are not English or Latin numerals. The Latin numerals were letters. That is why in ancient Rome they used letters, because this method is referred to as isosophy, where they use numbers for letters. Isosophy. I believe also it is gematria in Hebrew, which I believe is the origin of the word geometry, if I recall correctly. Okay, so for sorry, I was just adjusting my chair here. For the number 0, It is called صفر. صفر. And an interesting piece of trivium is that the word cipher in English is actually the word صفر. Well, Arabic is Arabic for Arabic. The word cipher, if you pronounce the I as an E instead of a Y, so it would be صفر or صفر. So that is cipher, which is why Major Zero named the Patriots originally as Cypher in Metal Gear, if anyone here plays Metal Gear. Number 1 is called واحد. 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 Number 2 is ith. Again, it starts with a connecting hamza. اثنان. However, depending on the grammatical syntax, if it is accusative or dative, we will switch the alif noon to ya noon. اثنان. So in the other grammatical forms, it will be spelled as such. اثنين. 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 Number 3 is, and as you can see, it looks similar to اثنين, the day, and واحد is similar to أحد. 3 ثلاثة, similar to ثلاثاء. ثلاثة or ثلاثة, which means that this is a tied ta or a ta مربوطة. ثلاثة. Number 4 is أربعة or أربعة. أربعة or a two, depending on the diacritic here. There are also derivatives that indicate 2, 3, and 4 that are mentioned in the Quran. مثنى, مثنى. ثلاث. ثلاث. I apologize if the dots appear as dashes. For some reason I have difficulties drawing the dot on the graphics tablet. And رباع. These are mentioned in terms of marriage because in Islam we have polygyny, not polyandry. So it is not polygamy in full. And you cannot say poly without actually highlighting the number. One man can marry 2 wives or 3 wives or have a total of 4 wives, but we are not allowed, we are limited to only 4 wives per man. And this is not oppressive to women as most people think. The reason this exists is because of the populations in the world. Normally the population is 1 to 4, male to female, roughly. Now, the problem is if every male was married to a female, you will have 3 other females that are left unwed. So, in order to protect them and exalt them, they are married, because if they are not married, they may fornicate or commit adultery or enter the world of prostitution, God forbid. Whereas if she is married, she is sheltered in a home whose husband is commanded to prepare all the necessities for his wife. In Islam, the husband covers all the expenses. The wife is never asked to spend a single dollar in the expenses unless she wants to voluntarily. That is up to her. And if she works, the husband is forbidden from asking her to spend her salary on the house or the responsibilities of the house. And that applies for the second wife, the third wife, or the fourth wife. The husband must be capable of handling the expenses for all of for his households. The wife in Islam is meant to be protected and treated as the queen of the household, where the husband is the one that struggles in life to provide for her, and she does not have to struggle at all. There is also another derivative from the number 2, and that is muthanna. The word muthanna is the dual form of plurals. Muthanna. Muthanna. When you want to say that this form is the dual form, this is called muthanna. But you do not really have to know these. This is trivia. These, however, these are the actual numbers. So let us create a line here to separate. Actually, I can create a space here. So 5, we have kham. Oh, that is a very ugly meme. Khamsah. Khamsah. 6, and as you can see, it's similar to khamis. 6 is sittah. I do not recall if I mentioned a particular feature about taita, that it indicates femininity, but when we take the list of nouns, we will cover how this sometimes indicates femininity in a word. So that means it is a feminine noun, not a masculine noun. Sometimes. There are exceptions, of course. Number 7 is sab'a. Oh, this tablet is annoying. Sab'a. Number 8 is so 1, 2, 3. Yep, there we go. ثمانية. ثمانية. Let me add 9 and 10 here, and then we can move to the 20s and the 30s. I will simply highlight what 20 means and 30 means, and how you can add the ones digit to the tens digit as a number. And we will also cover 100 and 1000, in addition to how to read numbers. In Arabic we read them from right to left, similar to German in a sense. So I will add 9 here. That way I can keep 0 to 10 in one page. Tis and number 10 is عشرة. And these are all the numbers from 0 to 10. I apologize, I do not think I'll be able to continue this video longer, so that will probably mean I will elongate the tutorial session from one more video to 2 videos instead, because I have to leave for certain errands now. So next video inshallah, and God willing, we will cover how to spell 20, 20 how to spell 30, how to spell 40, 50, 60 until 100, how to spell 1000, how to spell 11, 12, 13, and 21, 22, and so on and so forth. Then we will cover nouns and adjectives. We will also cover هذا and هذه again to determine whether a noun is masculine or feminine. And also in that lecture we will cover alif lam again, or the, and we will take a few examples to differentiate between the lunar lam and the solar lam depending on the letter in question. Then the last episode, or the last lecture inshallah, will be about sentence structures. And the first part of the lecture anyways. The second part will be a listening, a speaking, a reading, and a writing exercise. Apologies if I had to end this abruptly. I hope this was beneficial and helpful to everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you in the next video. Be safe and take care.